Peace. This is Brown. Milk in the mind, with the bad, meek in the real. Let's build the
Peace. Once again, peace. I am Master Browsey, and you are now entering Build the Cipher, right? We're on episode 24 of Build the Cipher. Title is, It's Not the Devil, It's You. Accountability in the cipher, right? Today's supreme mathematics is wisdom culture, right? Wisdom is the way we act out what we know. Culture is our way of life. So when your wisdom is right, your culture is refined in it, right? When you start blaming everybody else, blaming the devil for your struggles, your pain, your failure to rise, you are living outside your divine culture. Your culture is God, not a victim, right? Responsibilities and accountability. We must stop blaming outside forces like devils, systems, people for what's happening in our lives, and start holding ourselves responsible for how we think, live, and build. The real enemy often lives within your own thoughts, your habits, and your choices, right? The old excuses, right? Old excuses that people be using in their lives. People blame the white man, the system, or haters, right? Yes, they do exist, but they are not stronger than your mind. You can never give people that much power over you. You are the power. You have to see that power within yourself and then connect with it. When you give other people your power, you lose focus and track of who you are as a man, and somebody else is now controlling you as a man, right? You have the power to choose, to move, learn, build, and grow. We all have that power, God, to move, build, grow, learn. All the process. Knowledge is to know, look, listen, observe, and then you respect it. You either respect it or reject it, but you don't disrespect it. You just say, this is not for me, and you keep it moving, right? Supreme mathematics taught me responsibility through knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. It helped me to see the knowledge of myself, help me to grow through the wisdom of experience and life and taking on accountability and responsibility for myself. But like the Knowledge Degree says, who is the original man? He's the Asiatic black man. He's a maker and an owner. And an owner means to take ownership. And we must take ownership of our responsibilities of who we are and what we say we are. So if you say that you're this type of person, then people hold you accountable for the things you say out your mouth. So that's why people say what you mean and mean what you say, right? Stop giving your power to the devil when your God is in your blood, right? Stop giving your power to the devil when God is in your blood. It's in your DNA. It's in us. That's why we said sometimes it takes somebody to come and spark that light and bring you out of that mental death and power by speaking Words can hold spells and bring people out of a state of darkness that they're in by the words that you say to them, right? That's why they say the power is in the tongue. And those who live will eat from its fruit. Life and death is in your tongue. You can speak life into somebody or you can speak death into somebody. It all depends on the words that you choose to make bond and bring forth the life through your words, right? That's, the word is life, God. When you speak that life, you can control the atmosphere of the people that you are around and also yourself. You know what I mean? Deal with eternal reflections, right? How are you sabotaging your own cipher, right? Meaning with yourself. A cipher is a person, a place, or a thing. How are you sabotaging the cipher within your family? What are you doing that is bringing destruction to your family? Because build or destroy. What are you building to add on to your family? And what are you sabotaging to your family? The place where you call it your home. Because the home is the heart. It says the planet Earth is the home of Islam. So you have to treat that heart like it's your home and protect yourself. So what are you doing that's sabotaging yourself? Your mind, your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? That you have to change. Because like it says in the wisdom culture degree, what was his idea of making devil? All it takes is an idea. And and you draw that idea up and it goes through a process and you can bring that idea to life and make a devil or you can born God. It all depends on the words and the idea that you come up with. But through your determination, an outcome is going to come from that. You know what I mean? Are you lazy with your discipline? Self-discipline takes practice. You have to live this out. It's like repetition. Living out what you say. You just can't say it. You got to mean it and live it and constantly go through it until it becomes a habit of a good habit. Like you say, when you stop eating bad food, you go through a process of trying to stop eating certain foods. And when you start doing that, that becomes a habit. Now that you said, I killed that bad habit and I took on something else to replace it. Something good, something fruitful like fruits. More vegetables, less of this, less salt. These are habits that you break that's causing things to you to act other than yourself. It's even through a bad diet of food, God. Certain things. That's why I said they were told out to eat the wrong food. Sometimes the wrong foods are just the things that you eat that's messing with your mind, having you move slow, having you move like sloppy. So you have to change your diet. Just like your mental diet and your physical diet, you know what I mean? Do you ignore what your mind is telling you? Right? Sometimes you gotta sit back and think. Your mind be going through a process, and sometimes we let our emotions supersede our intelligence. We can never let our emotions supersede what we're thinking. Right? You gotta think first. Thinking is a process. When you don't think and you go and move before you think, something can happen that you didn't want to happen. And that was a cause and effect because you didn't use your mind. You didn't think properly. You didn't say to yourself, let me take this through a process before I act. Because then I might be blaming somebody for something that I was the cause of. So sometimes I gotta think and replay the situation and say to myself, was it that person's fault? Was it my fault? Did I start it? Was it the way I said something? Because sometimes a word, it just triggers somebody. That's rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes, God. We cause this by through the atmosphere that we bring. The words that we say, how hard we say it. Are we yelling? Are we speaking in tone to grown men that people are like, yeah, I'm not a child? You have to sometimes know the process of how you speak to somebody. Because just the wrong word, God, can bring death and have somebody hurt by the way you are speaking, right? So you never ignore your mind, God. Think. Always think. They say think before you move, God. Because one small move will have you falling off the ledge into the devil's civilization. And we can't do that, you know what I mean? Do you keep going back to the same negative environments or relationships? Do you still go back to those negative environments? You still go back to the bad relationships? If you know what I'm saying, the environment where you know if I go over here, They're going to have you drinking. Drinking make you other than yourself. So you start drinking with them, and now you're back in jail because you know you ain't supposed to be drinking, but you drink with them anyway. You went into that environment that you know that these people is not thinking about your welfare. They're not care about you trying to change your life. Misery loves company, and people will invite you into their world and suck you into it, and then you're back caught up. It's something that you shouldn't have been there in the first place. So you got to ask yourself, are you still returning to those negative environments that you know make other than yourself? The people that you know don't like you, but you still go around them. That's insanity, brother. You can't be doing that. You still go back to that same female that you don't be talking all crazy, got a loud mouth, disrespecting you, don't care about you, don't treat you like a man. And you still go back there, she always wants to fight and puts her hands on you, and you still want to be in that type of relationship. She's always dressed in provocative, flirting with other men, and you still go back to that relationship? Come on, that's insanity. That's making devil. That's causing you to act other than yourself because you're getting angry over a situation that you cannot control, that's outside yourself. That's, again, blaming the outside forces for what's going on around you, but you're the blame. You're standing there allowing these things to happen instead of leaving the situation alone and going upon your business. You know what I mean? The devil isn't in the room. It's in the decisions that you keep making, right? The devil isn't in the room. It's in the decisions that you keep making. See what I'm saying? What was this idea of making, devil? The decisions that you keep making? Oh, yeah, that's all it is, to make devil. What's one first do? To make devil, all you got to do is, boom, make him. Out your mouth, from your thoughts. Well, it's a real devil. Any man which is made wicked or any live grafted germ from original is a devil. So you've got to ask yourself, what are you making? Positivity or negativity? Are you making forth a devil, or are you born in God, right? These are the things you have to think about as a man, right? It's a process, but a process of elimination, building and destroying that of the devil, right? The tools of the 5%, right? The tools that we use as the 5%, right? The 5% is not perfect. We're not perfect. I'm not going to say that I'm perfect. Because, you know why? I'm not perfect. I strive. What I do is I strive to be righteous, wise, and civilized. We are not holy. We are righteous. Righteous says we try to be as right and exact as we can be in our lives. Some people do fall off, and they're going to get back up and get themselves back together and take that devil off their planet Earth and take the best part and preserve it for themselves. It's a struggle that people go through. That's why I say everybody's not perfect. We strive to be in that perfection of mind by rising to our higher selves. It's not falling back down below 6, which is the devil's civilization, where people fall for lust, sex, crime, murder. These are things of the devil that people do. And if you're rising above that, then you have to be on a more righteous and conscious level of mind thinking. You know what I mean? We don't blame, we build. We don't blame. The person who has consciousness, is righteous, and stands like a man on his own responsibility, he can't blame. He has to build through the process. If they're born alive or born and dead, or see what happens, or not add to the cipher after that, and then move on. Move on. You don't stay there and dwell on it and feed the beast. You know what I mean? We teach the sides of everything. Love, peace, happiness, and also self-accountability. Self-responsibility, right? If that's what every man should be living by, his self-responsibility, his self-accountability, right? We must raise ourselves before we can raise others. Don't that say, isn't that self or savior? Save self first before you can save others. You got to deal with self first. Make sure yourself is good. Make sure yourself is solid in the mind. You're right. Because sometimes knowledge can make a person go crazy, brother. Lose their mind, like I said, be way out there on Pluto, 3,680 million miles away from the sun, because they done lost their mind, lost the light. And now they go back into the darkness of triple stages, back to that status mind of a savage, you know what I mean? Whew. So, before I go on, you know what I always like to do? I give out the affirmations. Today we got affirmations, and I also have a cipher challenge. So let me start off with the affirmations. I want you to affirm this. I take responsibility for my cipher. Once again, I take responsibility for my cipher. Right? I move with knowledge, speak with wisdom, and see with understanding. I move with knowledge, I speak with wisdom, and I see with understanding. I check the mirror before I check the enemy. I check the mirror before I check the enemy, right? Those are today's affirmations. Use them, build with them, say them to yourself. You know, useful land for you brothers, right? Now we're going to go on to the Cipher Challenge, right? This is the Cipher Challenge, right? Today, write down 3 areas in your life where you blaming others, right? Then flip that blame into a personal action step, right? Flip it into a personal action step. Think about 3 areas in your life where you blame someone else. Then flip that, you know what I'm saying, and see what the outcome is going to come out to be, right? Again, we build, we don't break. This is your brother, Master Browsey. It's been another episode of Build to Cipher. I want you to hit that like button, share, subscribe, get this to other people who are blaming other people for their responsibilities when they need to take care of their own responsibilities. Pass it on, share it to somebody. Everybody needs to hear the truth. The truth shall set you free, as we say. Once again, remember to build a cipher. I'm your host, Master Browsey. Peace.